Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today, we are diving into another major political development that's causing serious waves in South Africa's corridors of power. This time, the focus is squarely on the ANC Women's League and its controversial silence in the face of serious corruption allegations against two of its own, former Speaker of Parliament Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula and Free State Premier Maqueen Letsoha-Mathae. Now, you'd expect the Women's League, traditionally known for rallying behind its members, to be out in full force supporting its former president Mapisa-Nqakula during her recent court appearances. But interestingly, that hasn't happened. In fact, except for one sighting of Balika Mbete at court, the Women's League has been completely absent. And that silence has sparked widespread debate. What's going on behind the scenes? Mapisa-Nqakula stands accused of accepting bribes from a service provider. She's appeared multiple times in the Pretoria Magistrates Court, and each time, she's walked in alone, no crowds, no party regalia, no visible support from ANCWL leadership. It's a stark contrast to what we've seen in past corruption cases involving ANC leaders. The same applies to Maqueen Letsoha-Mathae, who has been accused in the media of receiving bribes, including a luxury Mercedes-Benz minibus, from service provider Patrick Futi. She and her husband have denied all allegations. But again, the Women's League has remained completely silent. So why this sudden hands-off approach? According to ANCWL Secretary-General Nokuthala Nkaba, this silence isn't accidental. It's a deliberate decision aligned with the broader renewal agenda of the ANC. And that renewal agenda includes cleaning up the party's image, distancing itself from corruption and ensuring it doesn't repeat the mistakes of the past. And what mistakes are we talking about? Well, Nkaba openly referenced the infamous 2005 rape trial of former President Jacob Zuma. At the time, the ANC Women's League supported Zuma instead of the alleged victim, a move that drew massive backlash and left a permanent stain on the League's credibility. It's a moment in history the organization clearly wants to avoid repeating. Nkaba said the League had learned the hard way not to support anyone facing serious charges unless all the facts are known. This time, they're erring on the side of caution, and they're not willing to entangle the Women's League in any allegations that could undermine its mission. When it comes to Letsoha-Mathae, things get even more sensitive. As Treasurer General of the ANCWL, she holds one of the League's top leadership roles. According to Nkaba, the League called her in and asked her to explain herself, not to judge her, but to hear her out and ensure transparency among leaders. However, beyond that, the Women's League washed its hands of the matter and referred her back to the ANC's Integrity Commission. In other words, the League is saying, you were deployed to government by the ANC, not us. So take your story back to Luthuli House. And as for Mapisa-Nqakula, the ANC's own resolutions bar members from using the party's name, colors, or logos when defending themselves in court if they're accused of serious wrongdoing. The party expects every member to take full responsibility and face the consequences as individuals. That, Nkaba says, is the party line, and the Women's League is sticking to it. So what does all this mean? It signals a fundamental shift in how the ANC Women's League is approaching scandal, power, and accountability. No more blind loyalty. No more knee-jerk support for comrades just because of shared history or political alliances. Instead, the League says it wants to be part of a new era where integrity and principle guide decisions. Of course, critics will argue that the silence still looks like abandonment, that it raises questions about solidarity, sisterhood, and whether women in the movement truly support one another when the chips are down. But the League insists that this is what renewal looks like, even if it's painful and unpopular. In the meantime, both Mapisa-Nqakula and Letsoha-Mathae remain in the spotlight, and South Africans are watching closely. Will the ANC's Integrity Commission take decisive action? Will the Women's League face backlash from its base? And what message does this send to women across the country who look to the ANCWL for moral and political leadership? These are serious questions, and we'll be keeping a close eye on how it all unfolds. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Is the ANC Women's League right to stay silent, or should they be standing by their own? Do you believe this is truly about renewal, or is it just politics as usual? Don't forget to like this video if you found it informative, subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into South Africa's political scene, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you next time.